Any questions for Josh, guys?
Hey Josh, Vinny with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. During OTAs, were you just on your own doing your own thing with the blessing of the organization, and what did you do in your time away from OTAs?
Yeah, I talked to Coach before OTAs had started a couple months. My position coach and obviously the head coach, and just talked about what the plan for me was and what I had on my mind of what I wanted to do. And what in the areas that I felt like I needed to improve on, and they gave me their blessing to allow me to be able to go do that. Trusted in me that when I came back that I'd be ready. So, yeah.
Hey Josh, Anthony with the Fresno Bee. First 2 seasons you hit 1,000 yards. Now you have Kenyon Drake in the backfield. Just how dangerous can you two be this season?
Man, Kenyon, so I was fighting for the dude to get him over here when I found out that Book was leaving. And man, I've been knowing Kenyon forever. Came since Alabama days. He used to come back and train with me all the time. His game speaks for itself, man. He's very versatile, can play in slot, very good in open space, and he can take the top off. So it's going to be a great addition.
Hey Josh, it's Deshaun Reed from The Athletic. Coming off last season, what areas of your game did you identify that you wanted to improve on going into this next year?
I feel like every area, honestly. Coming in like the offseason, the main things I've been working on was like balance work, core work, burst, things like that, just to try to take my game to that next level. Out here in practice today, I was running some receiver routes. Just try to do everything I can to help this team.
Hey Josh, this is Vic from The Athletic. What was your reaction to the changes on the offensive line? And you're looking forward to the new guys. How's that going so far with all the new guys?
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. When it first happened, I'm like, damn, what we doing? And then when I seen the guys that they picked up, and I watched the game film of each guy, the new guys that came, and seeing them practicing. I was watching a couple of practice still on the iPad and things like that. I've seen them how they was working. I was like, yeah, we're gonna be nice. Just trying to come in and get them acclimated to our team and our scheme and our system. But I think the guys will do good.
Josh Lee, from Raiders.com. Is there anyone particularly that you've seen on the offensive line, kind of leading to that question, that's really impressed you, or that you're really happy that they're going to get their moment, get their shine to really show what they're capable of doing?
Obviously, Alex. Because, I've just played with the guy for 2 years, and, I know him. And I was just happy that he even got drafted here. And just to hear his mentality of coming in is what kind of impressed me on him. We just had a couple of hour-long talks before he got drafted, and just about what he wanted to do and how he wanted to present himself and the task that he put on himself. I'm interested to see how he live up to his expectations.
Josh, out of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, you said you had a plan for the offseason, what you want to work on, where you want to improve. What are some of those things, and where are you in that progression?
Yeah, like I said, I want to do everything. I get more, like, even body care, like, get more flexibility, more, some little things to work on, little different muscles and things like that I just want to improve on, overall health and things like that. So when I come in and when I get banged up, I have, different aspects of things I wanted to work on. And like I said, I did balance work. I did a lot of little things that I feel like I've been doing, but I just took it up another step. So I would say this is the first off season I really just put my head down and just really just was focused on one thing. And so it's been a long journey, but it's gonna pay off.
Josh, Ed Graney from the Review-Journal. Last year you talked about the receptions you wanted and the amount you wanted. Now you have Kenyon. How do you add to that, or is that going to be his spot in terms of the receiving? How do you want to improve as a receiver?
Honestly, I'm just going to, whenever I get my chances, take my chances, make the best out of my opportunities. I'm not one of them guys, man, I really don't care for real. Like, if he gets catches and he does good and the shit, we win, and that's all I really care about. Like, however it play out, it's however it play out. But I just know how when I get my chances, just make the most out of them.
Okay, thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
If you want to report, I'm going to go by Bryan. Yep.
Hey, Derek. Levi with Raiders.com. This is kind of a two-parter. One, can you talk about the relationship that you've been able to establish with your new receiver, John Bryan? And also, how excited are you about the Golden Knights?
Yeah, so one, I'll probably talk about Smoke, John Brown. I think we'll all get used to calling him Smoke. So Smoke, awesome person, great teammate. Reminds me a lot of Nelson. Very fast, very smart, works hard, but is a great person, just like Nelly. I think that they're very similar players. So he's sad to lose Nelly. Love him, wish him the best. Love the guy so much, but happy to get Smoke here. Love that guy. Great relationship with him already. And the Knights, was at the game last night. Took my boys. My boys are huge hockey fans now, so I'm learning the rules as we go. But I've loved it. It's just fun to watch other people play at a high level, and just to feel the city's energy, the support for our team. It's been really cool. I've gotten to know some of those players, and just want to continue to support those guys. Our city's been great in doing that, so hopefully they can keep it up. They've been doing great.
Hey, Derek, I'm just curious, what you've seen out of Kenyon Drake and kind of what element you think he brings to your guys' offense that maybe you guys were lacking before.
Yeah, I think Kenyon is a great player, super fast, super explosive. I don't know if we were missing it, but I think he adds just a dimension of just another threat. Him and Jalen are similar, Richard, that is, very similar. But Drake, obviously he's played a lot of football. He's a receiver background. How coach likes to throw certain routes to the running backs and things like that. I mean, we design plays sometimes to get it to the running back so he can break a tackle. So I think KD will be really good at that for us, and he's a great dude. I've really enjoyed being around him.
Derek, Anthony. You only touched on John Brown and Drake just now. Can you talk a little bit more about both of them? Also with Willie Snead, just your impressions of what do they bring to the offense?
Yeah, I think that they bring some good football, in their background. I think they bring a hunger, a desire to win, which is great. I really feel that we've been, over the last few years, just getting guys that just have this hunger and desire to win. And we've been progressing, not at the rate we want to, but we're progressing, and hopefully we take another jump. But adding guys like this only helps that. So Willie's another guy, great football player, physical, really strong hands. Reminds me of Crabtree's strong hands, real strong hands. Very physical football player. I'm excited to see him when the pads come on.
Hey Derek, it's Josh. So this seems to be the offseason unhappy quarterbacks around the league, and whether Aaron, Deshaun, Russell, a little bit. You obviously haven't had the greatest situation around you, it would be fair to say, years, but we haven't ever heard a peep from you. Why are you that way as opposed to, no public complaints, nothing like that? What?
Yeah, Josh, that's a great question, honestly. I can't speak on their situations. I don't know. None of us really will know what happens in conversations behind closed doors and all that. So I can't, but I can speak for myself. And I'm of the mindset, I'm that old school mentality. I'm playing for one team and that's it. I give, whether we've won enough or not, I literally give every bit of energy and effort that I can to this organization. And when I sign a contract, I completely, in my mind, have to fulfill that. There's, I committed to that. I put my name on paper. I committed to that. And, it's just how I was raised. So, again, I'm from Fresno, California, born in Fresno. My dad was, worked in the car business. My mom helped it, substitute, teaching and all different kinds of stuff at the church and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff growing up, so I don't need much, And so for me, it's more about loyalty. It's more about being the same guy every single day. My goal, Josh, was when I got here to, give everything I have to this organization. Let our fans know I'm giving it all that I have, and I will always continue to do that on season, off season, and whether the situation is great or not, that's okay. People can say whatever they want. I know what I've put on film. I know the things that I've been able to accomplish, and I still want more. There's still more, and I want to do it here. I don't want to do it anywhere else. I've said it over and over again. I'd probably quit football if I had to play for somebody else. I am a Raider for my entire life. I'm going to root for one team for the rest of my life, and it's the Raiders. So I just feel that so strong in my heart. I don't need a perfect situation. I believe that. I don't need a perfect situation to make things right. I think we can all agree that if we were able to pull it off and win a championship here, that would feel much better than just piling a whole bunch of great players together and joining up and doing it that way. I think it would be much more special, and it'd feel probably a little bit better from what we've been through to where I think we're going. I just think personally that'd be a cooler story for my life. And for other people, they want to do other things. That's great. That's up to them. But for me, I'd rather go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? If I have to. That's just my personality.
Hi, Derek. Levi Damien from USA Today. How nice was it to have Kenyon and Josh on the field together for the first time, and how do you see them complement each other in this offense?
Well, they're going to complement each other great. Kenyon's not just a route running kind of running back. I mean, he's had 900 and something thousand yard seasons. The guy's a good football player. So when you have two backs like that, you don't have to kill Josh. Josh doesn't have to. He could be fresh every snap. Could you imagine that, having to tackle that guy fresh every single time? Oh, here comes Drake. Oh, here comes Jalen Richard. Here comes Alec Ingold. We have these guys, and then you think about the receivers, the speed now at receiver. You think about Waller, Foster, Carrier. That's a pretty explosive group, And so the more pieces that you have on offense, the more problems it creates for coordinators and the less they can do. If they want to do more, that opens them up to risk of more mental errors and things like that. So people are going to have to decide what they want to defend, and hopefully we can continue to get in good plays and counteract that a little bit.
Hey, Derek, Ed Graney from the RJ. I want to stay on the Josh theme a little bit in terms of his trajectory. He's produced so much in a short time. What do you expect from him? What do you see from him, and where do you kind of see him going?
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's a team game, right? I got to keep putting him in good run looks. If I stop caring about the run game, that hurts Josh Jacobs. I got to put us in good run looks all the time. That's my job. Offensive line has to do their part. Alex got to do his part. The tight ends, the backside blocks on the receivers. Some of the bigger run plays come because receivers are downfield blocking. Everything is taken care of in here. Well, the receivers got to go get blocks. We know Josh will show up in shape. We know Josh is going to show up ready to play. He loves football. He's a great teammate. He's a great guy to be around and all those things. So I think the trajectory is going to be as high as all of us together go. He can, as a running back, you watch guys like I'm not even going to go there because I don't want someone to ask me about why I think their run game was terrible. But there's some really good running backs that didn't run for many yards, right? And you watch the film and you're like, well, it's no wonder. This guy on this run play never gets that block. There's guys in the backfield. His average is lower because he's not getting to the line of scrimmage before he's getting hit. So it's an all-encompassing thing. But we believe if we get everything right, if I put us in the run look and everyone can take care of their part, we believe Josh can house some really long runs and be one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Hey, Derek, Case from Las Vegas Sun. I know you've already talked about how much you're enjoying the Golden Knights run, and time again you've said no one's hungrier for success than you. But I'm just wondering, just seeing what they're doing and being at the games, does it kind of motivate you or give you a vision of what it would look like in this city if you guys get to where you want to go with a full building and stuff like that next year?
Yeah, Case, it really does. I told Mark Stone, I said, you guys are inspiring us. I was like, this is awesome. Being in that building, watching this city. I didn't know anything about Vegas. Paul did, but that's about it. I didn't know anything about Vegas, before we got here, and I just thought it was the Strip and that was it. But what I've learned is it's a small community of people that really know each other and care about each other. I'm sitting there at the game. I'm meeting people that work at this business, that saw me at this restaurant, did this. You know, and I know these people. I'm having conversations. I grew up in the same areas. It's been electric, you know, about all of those people coming together and supporting one thing. You know, it's really cool. Even during the bad stuff, like they're like completely all for their team. You know, they just are happy to be there. So it's been really cool. Like yesterday, I met Wayne Newton, by the way. I met Wayne Newton, which was crazy. Couldn't believe it. But super nice guy. His wife, very nice. Wayne Newton, shout out to you, man. It's nice to meet you. But it's been really cool just seeing the city come together. And just, I try and take that, imagine what 70,000 people would be like, you know, with laser shows and the music and all that. I'm sure our defense would be really excited to go hit some people with that kind of atmosphere. Now, for me, please be as quiet as a church mouse. You know, please be quiet. But when the defense is out there, it'd be cool to see.
We go Vic, Chris, Adam, and Jesse.
Hey, Derek, this is Vic. With Carl Joseph back, I think you guys now have 4 guys who were here before John got here, Nicholas Morrow and Jalen Richard. Have you guys talked about that? And also, have you guys talked about what progress you've seen in these last 3 years?
Yeah, you know, Vic, we joke about it all the time. You know, we say, man, well, we're next. You know, we always joke, you know, about that kind of stuff. You know, it's like if we're the last ones, that means we're on deck. You know, but no, you know, it's exciting. You know what it says. I'm gonna speak to this because I don't think it happens enough in sports. It says, it shows like guys can go through some adverse times, right? Different coaches, all that kind of stuff. I was talking to Nick, like he's been through so many different systems and this kind of stuff, yet he continues to just be the same guy every day, work his tail off, give this organization everything he has. And when new coaches show up, they fall in love. And it's really a testament to the young guys. Like I tell the young guys all the time, watch Nick Morrow. Well, watch that guy. Watch Carl Joseph. He's going to do everything right. Watch Jalen. He's going to do everything right. You know what I'm saying? And it's no surprise that when new coaches come in, they're like, wow, we love that guy. We gotta keep him around. So it's really cool to see, you know, those guys are still here. Obviously, I miss the guys that aren't here. You know, those are some of my best friends. But it's really cool to see it work out for some of these guys for one way or the other, right? Money comes into situations. There's a younger guy, whatever. Some things happen, but these guys have stuck around, and to see Carl come back, that shows you what he thinks about what we're doing here. You know, he believes in what we're doing, and I think he's happy to be back.
Hey, Derek, I was just wondering, you've been a number of years as this Chris over at Channel 8. Each year you go into a year optimistic. Obviously, you're an optimistic guy. What is the difference maybe this year than in past years that you say, you know what, we could be turning the corner now? When, you know, years past, 3 years ago, I may have said the same thing, but is there a difference this year that you kind of think, man, this really could be the year that we have turned that corner, and why? And then I was just going to ask you about the offensive line, and what do you think of those guys?
Yeah,
kind of a revamped line.
Yeah, Chris, that's a good question. Yeah, I'd say I'll go to the first part of that. I'm always optimistic. You guys know that. I'm never going to be negative. You know, what's the point? It's a waste of time. You know, I don't get many years in my life to play this game, so I'm not going to waste it with, you know, down thoughts. I can't do it. Secondly, I think that we've added some pieces in the whole organization that I believe give us a really good chance to win. And I think Mr. Mayock, Coach Gruden, they've done an excellent job of getting people that, I said it last year, that love football, that are going to work their tail off, and they just continue to bring in people. They continue to keep guys that will work and do exactly what they ask. And when you have, this is the ultimate team sport. Everyone's got to be on the same page. Everyone's got to be moving in the same direction. And we have a group of guys that do that, and we've added more talent. You know, I keep saying, you know, I absolutely love. We had the worst off season, you know, all that kind of stuff, and time will tell. You know, we'll see. But we believe that we've gotten better, and we believe that we're progressing. So it's an exciting time for me, you know. But I'm just going to keep downplaying it because I just get tired of talking about it. You know, I can see it, but we got to go do it. You know what I mean? And the offensive line, very excited for those guys. But again, we got to go prove it. I love Rodney. I love Gabe. Those some of my best friends I've ever had. You know, and they will be. You know, till I'm 80 years old. You know, but those guys are on new teams and really excited about Andre. You know, obviously Richie's back, Denzel, John Simpson. I mean, I can name all these guys. They've been in here in this building as much as they've been allowed. They've been here every day working their tail off, and I think they're excited to show everybody that they're ready to play too.
Last two, Adam and Jesse.
Yeah, out of Las Vegas Review Journal. I also want to ask about the offensive line. I think there's a lot of optimism from everybody we talked to about that line and where they could go. But how much does that optimism have to turn into trust? From day one, and then how close you're developing that, and especially taking snaps from a new guy.
Yeah, this is what is this? The first time in 6 years I've had a different center. So that'll be new. But really, during the season when Rodney wouldn't practice on certain Wednesdays, I was with Andre anyway, and so Andre started a game for us, and Andre's a good player. Obviously, time will tell for him what he's going to be, and he'll let his play do the talking. But he's a heck of a player, and I'm excited about him. Now, trust-wise, we've had a lot of injuries on our offensive line throughout the years, so I've played with a lot of these guys already. So it's not like I'm looking at just new faces that I haven't seen before. I've played with these guys, and especially the caliber of players they are. They're really good football players, and we have Coach Cable. So he's going to make sure those guys are ready to play.
Last one, Jesse.
Hey, Derek, I was actually going to ask about Andre James, but since you kind of touched on that, I'm just curious, you go up against these guys on defense, and I know you guys are in shorts and T-shirts, but who on the other side of the ball has kind of popped to you thus far?
Well, I know it's been today, but Yannick, my goodness, wow, what a guy, and I sit there, I'm like, he's 26 years old, like, oh my goodness, this is good for the Raiders, and obviously the guys that have been here. I'll just say this as a whole. I think the whole defense looks great. I'm really excited to see what they do this season. Very, very excited to see what Coach Gus Bradley and his staff brings, because I've played against them. I know what it's like. Very excited to see what happens this year. But again, we have to go prove it. But but Yannick definitely popped today. When he steps on the field. There's certain guys in football where when they step on the field and they do something, you're like, that's a different level, and he definitely has that about him.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Ron, you're up first.
All right, we're good to go. Okay, Bryan, thanks for taking the time here with us. I want to ask you a little bit about the heat here in Las Vegas. Your first summer now in Vegas. We're getting up in the 1 teens today. You practiced early this morning. How has the heat affected you both on the field and also off the field?
I feel like off the field is the worst part, man, because we get out here pretty early, so we're kind of beating the heat a little bit. But off the field, man, like just going through your regular day, it's tough to just kind of get outside and do errands, man. You got to try to stay hydrated and things like that, man. It's brutal.
Levi Edwards of Raiders.com. Bryan, you already are a pretty big wide receiver, very dominant. However, you definitely do look like you have even gotten stronger over the offseason. Has there been anything special that you've done in your training or anything that you've paid more attention to in getting ready for the offseason?
No, not really, honestly, man. I've just been trying to stay consistent and trying to find a routine for myself and just coming in here every day and trying to work hard. That's about it.
Hey, Bryan, I was wondering, what have you, observing and watching and being out there with the guys now for a little bit, what's probably the one thing that you may have learned overarching anything else out there as an NFL player now, and what you got to do to become even a better NFL player?
I've learned from, the guys that we've had in the building, like Darren Waller, Nelson Aguilar last year, Zay Jones, all those guys, they have tremendous habits, and they come in and they do the right things, and I took a lot from those guys, and I'm very appreciative of them.
Hi, Bryan. Levi Damien from USA Today. After, I'm sure you had a pretty strong camp and probably had some pretty high expectations of yourself last year, and this is your first off season, technically, if you don't count training camp. Do you feel like a rookie, or do you feel like you took a lot from last season that you can bring into this year?
I definitely took a lot from last season. With not having an off season last year and then having the first off season this year for the first part of it, I kind of did feel like a rookie again. But I'm kind of finding my pace now.
Brian, kind of going along with that question, after last season, kind of having the rookie year that you did, is it kind of one of those things for you where you have a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove that you are better, or you just kind of like the past is the past and just going to keep on doing what I've always been doing?
I mean, last year's last year. I can't change that. I had some injuries and things like that. My main focus this year is just being the best person I can be for this team and trying to stay healthy and make as many plays as I can.
Well, out of the Las Vegas, you mentioned last year a couple of times. I mean, you're trying to move on from it, but was it difficult to not be frustrated or, kind of deal with it mentally coming into the league and trying to figure things out? Was that a process for you?
It definitely was a process, and it obviously was frustrating. Anytime I'm not getting the results I want to get, I'm frustrated and I'm trying to fix it. But Rome wasn't built in one day. All good things take time, and I'm just trusting the process.
Bryan, again, another question just about Las Vegas, the community, the Vegas Golden Knights. Derek was talking about how great it is. There's more than just the Las Vegas Strip. Right. Have you had a chance to watch or go to a Golden Knights game and kind of see what they do and have the fun that they have there at the arena? And what do you think of all that?
I went to a game recently with a couple of my teammates, man, and I know nothing about hockey, but the energy in that building is electric, man. It is second to none, and like I said, I know nothing about hockey, but I had a great time just being in the atmosphere, watching the guys win, watching people ring the horn. It's fun, man. It honestly is.
Hey, Bryan, this is Vic from The Athletic. We have a year under your belt with Derek. Wondering what your impressions are, and also in what ways you can tell the chemistry is building with him as far as your practice and the games and stuff.
Just time on task, man. We got a lot of reps built in through the summer. Out here, in mini camp, and just time on task, man. The more reps, obviously, the more chemistry, the more communication, and the better we'll be.
Looks like that's it. Thanks, Bryan.
No problem.
Appreciate it.